This is our first episode of my training tips. So the first thing we're going to talk about is free lunging in the round pen. This is something I do for the first thing I do with any horse that comes in. The reason I choose to do it as opposed to just hopping on them is because I generally get horses in that I don't know much about, and it's a good way for me to kind of read the horse, figure out if they're willing, are they lazy, are they reactive, are they going to run me over, that sort of thing. So it's just a good way to kind of get a horse's personality down. So generally, as I stated in my first video, the technique is based on a pressure and release system. So, you ask your horse to do something. If they don't respond, you're going to increase the pressure until they do. When they do what you want them to do, then you release the pressure, and that's their reward. So all of these exercises are based on that. The reason I do the groundwork in general is because it really gets the horses respect, it gets them responsive, and it makes the lazy horses a bit more forward, it makes the hot horses a bit quieter. It also is going to gain their trust with you, and it's also much safer for you to be on the ground as opposed to just, hopping on a horse you don't know anything about. Another reason why I specifically like to free lunge them first is because, again, it's safer. You're further away from the horse. You're not attached to a lunge line like this, so there's less of a chance that you're going to get bit, kicked, run over, whatever. So when I first take a horse out to round pen them, I'm just going to get them to go forward. That's all I want them to do. And they can kind of pick any gait they want to go at. I don't care if they race around and gallop, they can trot, but it has to be with a little bit of energy and effort. So the first thing I'm going to do is just send them out, get them going forward. I'll let them go a circle or two around, and then I'm going to gradually try to draw them in. So I'm going to kind of step in front of them and kind of almost catch their eye. Now, in a perfect world, you would want them to turn into you and change direction. Now, a lot of horses, when you put pressure on them, they're going to turn into the round pen fence, turn away from you, and change direction. We don't want that. So the way we're going to correct that is by the pressure and release system. So when I go to ask the horse to change direction, I'm going to step kind of in front of them, catch their eye. Now, if they turn into the round pen and change direction, I'm going to put pressure on them. I'm going to make them hustle, and hustle. And then I'll let them go a time or two around. I'm going to step in front of them again, ask them to change direction. If they turn into the round pen, then I'm going to make them hustle again. You want to make the wrong thing hard and the right thing easy. So the second that horse decides he's going to attempt to turn into you, that's when you're just going to let your stick down. You're just going to stand in the middle of the round pen and just let him go off. So he's going to learn that it's much easier and more comfortable for him to make the right decision, which is to turn into you. Now, I'll do this, keep doing that for, until I feel like they're catching on to the concept. And then usually at that point, they're pretty well out of breath. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, instead of just asking them to change direction and, trot or canter off, I want them to change direction and give me two eyes. Now, the trick to this is you got to have a lot of patience. So you're going to, step in front of them, catch their eye, ask them to kind of draw into you, and then the second they stop, you're going to release all pressure. Now, it's going to probably take a couple tries to get this done, but it is possible, because at that point the horse is probably going to be really out of breath, and their most valuable asset at that time is going to be air, so they're going to want to stop. And the trick is getting them to that point where they're tired enough to where they want to stop. So they're probably out of breath, they probably want to, take a break. So you're going to step in front of them, you're going to draw them back towards you, and the trick is eventually to get them to understand that the best and most comfortable place for them is in the middle of the round pen with you. Now that is where the trust aspect comes in, but you're going to kind of use air to your advantage because that's what they're looking forward to the most. So they learn that the only way they can catch their breath is in the middle of the round pen with you. So again, I don't care what gait they go at initially. Most of them are probably going to gallop around, and they'll learn fairly quickly that they're going to get tired really fast. So you'll probably notice that maybe by day 2 or 3, they're probably going to be cantering or trotting out here instead of just full force galloping, because they'll learn that, hey, it's probably important for me to conserve my energy because this lady's going to chase me around the round pen for quite a while. So it really gets, that's why I say it gets, lazy horses a bit more energetic. It makes the hot horses a little bit less hot because they want to conserve that energy. So I'm going to go ahead and send Jo out here and show you a bit. Now keep in mind she has done this before, so it's probably going to look pretty easy. But if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Shoot me a message, a comment, anything, and I'll try to help you as best I can. Thanks for watching. So hopefully y'all can hear me, but I'm just going to go ahead and send her out. And again, she can go whatever gait she kind of wants to go in, as long as she's going forward. So I'm going to let her go a circle or 2 around. And then I'm going to step in front, draw her in, and she's going to turn. And I'll point, send her off the other direction. So I'm going to change direction. I'm going to step in front, draw her in, point, and change direction. So again, step in front, draw her in, point, change direction. Step in front, draw her in. So I might do this for about 15-20 minutes until the horse kind of figures out the correct change of direction here. So at that point they're probably pretty out of breath. So that's when I'm going to try to get them to draw to a stop. So I'm going to draw and take steps backwards and get her to come towards me. Now she knows this drill, so she knows to come in to me to get relief. So that's why she's allowed to walk in. So I might rub all over them, let them catch their breath, take a quick break, rub all over their face, just get them used to being with you and let them understand that the most comfortable spot for them right now is here in the middle with you. So I'll let them hang out for a few minutes, catch their breath, and then I'm going to send them back out on the round pen again. I never let horse go more than a circle or 2 around. Now if you notice, she's trained that if I step in front of her, she's going to stop. So I'm going to point. If I want her to go forward, all their energy comes from the hindquarters. So you want to drive from behind that shoulder. That's what's going to have the gas pedal going. So again, draw her in, take a step back. She chose not to come in, that's fine. So she's going to go out there and she's going to waste her energy. I'm going to draw her in, step back, and she's going to come into me this time. So I'm going to let her take a break, rub all over. Now the cool thing about round penning like this is the more you practice it and the more you work on it, you can kind of get more advanced groundwork out of it. I'm currently working on some liberty work with her. So there's lots of options here to kind of further your training with just a simple exercise like this. So that's kind of the basics of it so you guys can get a visual. let me know if you have any questions, and look forward to the next video.